Greetings, duelists, and welcome to a deck retake. For those who don't know what that is, a deck retake is when I take a theory and introduction video out of something new that I discuss in my channel and talk about things that I overlooked, things that I missed, and maybe a second idea of the concept after the initial theory that I had in mind with the introduction video. So, the topic of today is Sacred Beast. And the first thing we will need to talk about is unleashing the Sacred Beast. I forgot to talk about this card in my last video. And this is a really good card. This card actually does make the change of whether or not you play Sacred Beasts as an engine or as a deck night and day. So for those who don't know what that card is, this card adds 3 Sacred Beasts monsters with different names from their deck to your hand, then discard 2 cards. If this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it, add a level 10 Pyro, Thunder, or Fiend monster that cannot be normal summoned or set from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. This card's fantastic. Like, this is an automatic 3-up into the deck. The first thing about this card that makes it really enticing is that it is a consistency card. It is a starter. But not only is it a consistency card or a starter, it's also a starter that rotates your entire Sacred Beast engine. And I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. So we're going to pretend that this is the only card in our hand. We're going to activate Unleashing, and we're going to add 3 Sacred Beasts. It doesn't have to be the level 10s, it can also be Martyr and Orchestrator. And the reason this is important is because we're going to discard the Orchestrator and the Martyr. And in a new chain, we're going to banish the Orchestrator to summon the Martyr. I don't know why I said chain, this is an ignition effect, but you know what I mean by that. Martyr upon summon is going to place a continuous spell, trap, or field spell. And the card that we're going to place is called Skyfire of the Sacred Beasts. We already talked about this card yesterday when we talked about the Sacred Beast entirely. We're going to use Skyfire's effect, and we're going to place 2 more Skyfires. Since we do have a level 10 Sacred Beast monster in our hand, we can reveal it, and then we can place the Fallen Paradise. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use the Fallen Paradise, we're going to send the 3 Skyfires, and we're going to summon. You can summon from your hand the Raviel if you want, but this also gives us the option to summon from your graveyard and or banishment. I don't think you can summon the Orchestrator from banishment if you want, but the card that we're summoning is going to be Haman, Lord of Striking Thunder. Since we control a level 10 Sacred Beast or another Sacred Beast monster, Martyr can summon 2 more Martyrs from the deck. And now we can do Fallen Paradise, and because we control a level 10 Sacred Beast monster, we can draw 2 cards. So, you know, this might be very far-fetched, but this is technically an engine that you can play in any deck. None of these Sacred Beast cards lock you, and you can do like a lot of crazy things. And it's not really the most inconsistent thing either. Like, yes, Skyfire is technically a brick if you don't have a Sacred Beast monster, but between Raviel, Haman, and Unleashing, you have like essentially a lot of starters for the theme. And not only that, I reached into another epiphany when I was trying to figure out Sacred Beasts like in its entirety. And let me demonstrate what I mean by that. So, a long time ago, we had a Dark Turbo like deep draw deck involving Dark Lord, Dark World, and Dangers. We also had like other older versions of this. One with Hopeless Dragon, one with Trade-In in the original Dark World strategy with Curry Bandit. We've had Shaddolls variants. We had like basically a lot of those deep draw dark engines. They just filter out through your entire deck. So what were the problems with these engines like nowadays? The problem that we were having is that outside of the dangers, there was no real sustainable discard engine for these cards. They just like tutors out multiple cards. You're going to see with this explanation, we now do have what is needed with the Sacred Beasts. So the really cool thing about all these discard fodders, like Dark World is like the best example here, but you can also use Dangers, you can use Shaddolls, you can use like a few other ones. Sacred Beasts have a lot of cards that discard, and since we have a lot of cards that discard, you can just filter out through your deck through a lot of cards. You're probably wondering what the Dark Lord Ascension is doing there. This card is really cool in this deck in particular because the future monster for Sacred Beast is a Fiend type monster, and Dark World Ascension can summon it. The other really cool thing about Ascension is that it is tutorable with your Dark World engine. As you can see, we went through 3 copies of Snow while filtering out all our cards. And that's really cool because you're basically emptying your deck out of more of your engines as you're moving through your Sacred Beast cards. Let me show you the deck concept idea that I have in mind. I want you to understand this is not finalized. There is a lot of different things that you can do here. I put Thunder Dragons here because theoretically you can like play Thunder Dragons in this deck. Like I mentioned, I played Shaddolls as well. If you're going to do Shaddolls as part of this sub-engine, you should do 1 Beast, 1 Hedgehog, 1 Squamata, because no matter which one you draw, one just tutors out the other 2. If you draw into Hedgehog, Hedgehog gets you into Squamata, which can then dump Beast. If you draw into Beast, well, Beast is just 1 extra draw, and whatever happens with these 2, one will tutor out the other. And if you open Squamata, Squamata can dump the Hedgehog, which gets you to Beast, and then you can just discard the Beast, and Beast will draw you a card. We're doing 3 Brow and 3 Snow. This can be tinkered with. You can just do only Snow or only Brow if you want to. I just figured I put in 3 Brows and 3 Snows because Snow can get you to Brow, but Snow can also get you to Ascension. And since Snow is not once per turn, you can just keep grabbing a Snow after another Snow and just keep dumping them one by one. And then you just fill up your graveyard with maybe future fodder. You can play Grapha in this deck if you want, and that way you can play Grapha, the Dragon Overlord of Dark World, as like a monster you can summon. And this is not an Omni-Negate or anything like that, but it is one of those really neat cards where you can change the effect of a card. It works very similar to Exo-Sister Karma L, and this does bypass unaffected monsters because you're changing the effect. So this is a really cool boss monster you can play in this deck if you decide to play the 1 brick, which is Grapha. Like I mentioned beforehand, the Phantasmal Sacred Beast is a Fiend type monster, so you can use Ascension and just banish 3 of your Sacred Beasts and just summon it. And I don't think it's really hard to do in this version of the deck. Thunder Dragon Colossus, I think, is a staple in this deck. If you're ever going to play Sacred Beasts as an engine or as its own deck, you should play this card. This is just a really good Floodgate monster that can even protect itself because you have multiple Thunders. It's really easy to summon. Saryuja can be played in this deck as well. You can play multiple link once and just link away your martyrs, and the martyrs can just become the fodder for the Saryuya. And this deck already like filters out through their strategy like super easily. If you want end board monsters, you can play like Ally Code. You have 5-headed Link Dragon. You can play Topologic Blaster Dragon. There are a lot of options. These are not particularly the ones that you should be playing. You do have the option for Saint Azamina as a super poly target to just summon the Phantasmal Sacred Beast. I don't think that's worth it. If you ever want to go the Yummy route, Cupsy Yummy Way can easily be made with the supplementary martyrs. Varudras, I think, is easy to summon in this deck. You have a ton of level 10 monsters. Like, you can even use the Grapha itself, as one of the monsters for it, if you want to. The really cool thing about Dark World Ascension is if you have a Dark World in your hand, you can just grab this back and just dump your Dark World. So that also works too. I think Lightning Crash is a staple in this deck. The reason I say that is because Hamon is a 1-card starter into your sub-engine. The one with the Skyfire and the Martyr and like the Fallen Paradise. But yeah. Not much else I have to say that I can add and contribute to this. I don't think you should play the other Sacred Beast traps. I think these two are the best ones. Awakening is just a pseudo win condition against your opponent. If you know that your opponent is playing a deck that's allergic to banishment, you should end on this card and just your Sacred Beast monsters. If you don't think this card is needed because of the matchup, you can just discard it or whatever. Destruction Chant is a fusion spell in disguise by banishing it from the graveyard. I do think, that being said, Uriah is the weakest Sacred Beast. Another card that you can play in this strategy is Dominus Impulse. It does conflict with Hamon, but I think after you use Hamon's effect and Orchestrator's effect, you should be more than fine. Dominus Spark is another card that you can play in this strategy as well. But yeah, that's kind of everything I kind of wanted to talk about. Aaron, I know I said that twice, but let me know what you guys think. Is this a really good idea or concept that should be adapted with Sacred Beast? Is Sacred Beast just supposed to be played as its own engine and you just don't need discard fodder for it? Or do you think there's something can be tinkered with these strategies or with this deck and just play it like as a beatdown deck that can just try to play through your opponent's advantage with like an overwhelming amount of draw cards, like for example the Dangers? Let me know what you guys think. I hope you found this interesting to your liking and understanding. Until next time, keep practicing and keep dueling.